Hello Highlanders and welcome to No High Ground for Harry, the vlog where we take the high ground. As always, each week we pick a different topic and how to make a positive and lasting change in our day-to-day lives. We of course do this by exploring the low ground's easy everyday tips and for reaching for the long-term goals of the high ground. This time, we set our eyes on how to get motivated and stay that way. Don't we have our work cut out for us? Motivation. One word that strikes fear into the heart of every 20-something and every struggling artist out there. Does the following sound familiar? This is it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write that novel. The cat's flying. Cats don't fly. Also, you are not alone. As a concept, motivation is the go-to feeling, the driving force that can propel you into your version of greatness. Yet for many, including myself, it's something we have to dig deep to find. And even when it does rear its elusive little head, it's gone again. We all know motivation is the spark that stands between us and igniting a powder keg of productivity. If we can light the fuse and keep that flame alive, our efforts will explode into something worthy of taking notice. Yet here we are, watching a video on how to do just that. Lighting matches in a hurricane. Awful metaphors aside, motivation is so much more than just a feeling. It is a tool. So why? Why is it that something so powerful, something already within us, is so hard to come by and so hard to maintain? Because motivation is a commitment to yourself to follow through. It is a dare to change. And change can be terrifying. So often, it's just easier not to try. But no more. This time, you are going to see it through. You are going to climb your Everest. You just need a little help to get started. And that's where I come in. Like any mountain, if we're going to climb it, we need to start at the bottom. Time to get trekking for the low ground. You might be surprised to hear that there are many different types of motivation. Part of the struggle is finding the one that resonates with you. Are you the type that vows to do better when reacting to a strong emotion like excitement or anger? Or are you the type that's naturally driven and works out the sense of duty to yourself and your own potential? Different strokes for different folks. Even if you're not sure what makes you tick yet, our first low ground tip is universal in the way it makes people want to get up and get moving. And that is to get inspired by cool people. Ever had that moment where you watched a film or read a book and just viewed the world differently after? Getting lost in someone else's creativity is like a key to unlocking raw emotion. The very thing we need to get inspired. It doesn't matter if they're fictional, because that feeling can be more real than anything else you've experienced IRL before. Look deeper and you'll find that we live in a world where inspirational stories told by real people are also just a few clicks away. Music, seminars, podcasts, the internet in general is a goldmine of content that leads by example. Watch, read, listen, engage with those that are doing what makes them happy, what makes them great. The feelings behind it, the drive and the excitement, it's bound to rub off on you too. On YouTube alone, there are whole playlists dedicated to getting you geared up for whatever battles you're about to face. Now then, what type of guy would I be if I didn't try my hand at doing my own inspirational speech all in under 30 seconds? Ready? Here we go. Stop what you're doing. Seriously, stop. Take a look at yourself. You know what I see? Raw potential. I see a person that's got something big to offer the world, and I also see a person that's too afraid to show it. That came out wrong. All you have to do is believe. Believe you are more than your past mistakes. Believe you can be whatever you want to be. You want to get pumped? Let's get pumped! Take the steps to get done what needs to be done today. What's that? What's the point? Because you were not destined to be mediocre. You do not fear the new heights your resolve will take you. You're a Highlander, damn it. Get up. Let's move on to our second low ground tip of the day. And that is to go ahead and eat that frog. There's nothing like the satisfaction of a job well done. It's just the work in between that's the problem, and admittedly some work is more fun to do than others. Sometimes we have to find the motivation to do a task that's, well, a bit shitty. Looking at you, 3,000 word essay. It's not work we can get excited about, like organising a holiday for you and your mates. It's just something we have to do whether we like it or not. And that's what I mean by eating the frog. Sometimes you just have to pick that slimy little git up and bite its disgusting little head clean off. We're really loving those metaphors today, huh? What I'm saying is, actually getting started is the hardest part, but it's not impossible, and this is how you do it. You build momentum. What we need to do is plan out realistic short-term goals and meet them. We need to achieve small often. Obviously, this changes on what you do, but can be applied to just about anything. Have you got a report to write? You've got to open Word and write the title, then the first line, then the first paragraph, then the first page. Are you training for a charity run? First you're going to walk around the block, then you're going to jog it, then you're going to run the whole way. You see where I'm going with this. Great thing is about momentum is that no matter how slowly you start, you're still moving forward. And over time, you'll find you start getting faster and faster on your own accord. You start to find your flow. And this is the hammer on the tool belt of motivation. So many metaphors! Walls that once seemed so impassable start to come crashing down. Flow will keep you striving forward until suddenly you're done. You bit the head off the frog. And with that, we segue into our last low ground tip of the day. Reward yourself, respect yourself. Guess what? You are human. And like most humans, we know getting something for doing something else is pretty awesome. You may be the type of person where simply the satisfaction of doing something just isn't enough. You need something physical to work towards, something you can look forward to. And that's really okay. Like seriously, you wouldn't believe how long it took me to get round to filming this video. And now it's almost done, I can go ahead and drink that beer, water that I'd been saving. You want some? No? And that's literally what I mean. I have friends that put a Haribo at the end of every page in a textbook as a way of keeping them going when they were studying for their exams. It's a source of motivation for people that respond well to short bursts of gratification, which again is totally fine. Obviously, the reward can be whatever you want it to be. Being committed to go to the gym 4 times a week doesn't mean you can't take an evening off and reward yourself by going out with your friends. That's the kind of reward that literally shows off the results of what you're doing and gives you the will to carry on. You stud muffin, you. But try not to make the reward detrimental to the task at hand, like turning what was meant to be a 20-minute break into a whole day of binge watching your favourite show. You know nothing high ground for Harry. It does require a bit of discipline, but it's a good way of turning what is meant to be tedious into a game. The final point I want to make on this is that for some people, the actual process of chipping away at a task is all the reward they need. And for these people, just take some time out of your day when you have some space to think, recall everything you've accomplished up until now. You're awesome for doing it. If it means anything coming from me, I'm really proud. Let's keep this motivation train rolling and move on to today's high ground goals. I think the next point is probably the most important one we're going to talk about today, and that is turning motivation into routine. I read something in college once. It said the next sentence will make a happy man sad and a sad man happy. This too will end. Damn, that's deep. There's something you need to realise about motivation. Something that you must accept in order for you two to get along. It is finite. And like most wonderful things in life, it can only last so long. But that isn't a cause to be disheartened. Oh no. Because whether it happens naturally or not, motivation can evolve into routine. In other words, even when you're at your lowest, so tired you can't run another mile or write another word, a voice in the back of your head goes and says, I know how you're feeling, but you're still gonna do it anyway. Whatever we're doing, particularly if it's something we're working on over a long period of time, we've got to embrace that project as a need. Something as instinctual as brushing your teeth. For me, it can be the restlessness I feel after skipping a session at my martial arts club. I'm full of energy, and that energy turns into a kind of guilt. It may sound like a bad thing, but it's not. It keeps me coming back. I knew people were expecting me to teach and share the passion for the sport. It became more about enjoying the process of going, not just the triumph of getting my next belt. It was no longer a question of what I did 4 evenings a week. It just was. It was my routine. You ready for the next high ground tip? Good. And that is how to accept and recover from setbacks. Like anything else that has momentum, it burns a lot of energy to keep it going. And as I keep telling you guys, you're only human. You might well just burn out and find your progress start slowing down. You may even lose interest entirely in the thing you were obsessing over just a few short days ago. But believe it or not, this is actually quite natural. Remind yourself it's only temporary. There are many reasons for this happening, like something coming up in your family or your work life that demands your full attention. Or most commonly, whatever you're trying to achieve not yielding the results you're expecting at this point in time. The key to capitalizing on motivation is persistent, to not know when to back down, despite what your body or other people around you may be telling you. While we're on the subject, I'm going to let you into a little secret. If somebody else can't do something, they'll want to say that you can't do it as well. And I'll tell you now, these people are not your friends. Whenever negativity's getting me down, there's always one saying I like to remember. When you're about to give up, remember why you started. Often the trick is to embrace the negativity and turn it into a positive. And this is how you do it. Say you're a budding writer and you're halfway through your first novel, and out of nowhere you get writer's block. You're getting so frustrated that you'll feel you'll never write again. The solution? To write about the writer's block. To put pen to paper and organise the thoughts going around in your head. We're still doing the job we're paid to do. We're just going walkabout for a bit and exploring a new direction. Sometimes, to turn negativity on its head, we need to shake up the way we usually go about our work. Go to the library in town to crack out that essay. You can get a cup of tea and do lunch. Make a day of it. Sometimes a change of scenery is all you need to get back into your groove. Yeah, I can't dance. And with that, guys, we come to our final high ground tip of the day, and that is to set a clear goal. 2 reasons why this is such an important thing to do. First is that you know when to stop. Pursuing something with determination is a really good thing, but after a while it can become an obsession, and that is never going to be healthy in the long run. You may end up neglecting the things that made you a perfectly happy, functional human being before you decided to take on the task. If you keep going not knowing what constitutes a success, it can develop into a pretty bad habit where you'll never be happy no matter what the result. It's a recipe to be miserable, and that's the last thing we want for you. The second reason why it's good to have an end goal in mind is that it puts you under a good kind of pressure. It puts you under a time limit of what you want to achieve and by when. It serves as a gentle reminder to remain focused on what you're doing, and goes hand in hand in building that all-important routine. An example, a few weeks ago I competed in a national championship for the first time in some years. I got a medal! Honestly, I was unsure about signing up in the first place. That is until I realised it would give me the push I needed. By having that clear goal in mind, it would give me the motivation to train harder and improve my technique in the weeks leading up to competition. By putting a date in your calendar, you've got something final to work towards. You have something to visualise and get excited about. And if that something is a tournament or a show or a job interview, anything that involves other people, then all the better for it. Because I think it's in competition where we learn the most about ourselves and other people too. And on that final thought, I would like to end with the very wise words of a Mr. Edward Gibbon. We improve by victories over ourselves. There must be contests, and you must win. And scene. It's that time again, Highlanders. We have in fact reached the end of the video. If you like what you saw today, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button for more weekly No High Ground for Harry videos. Remember to drop a like and comment on what you thought about this week's episode, as well as any other topics you would like to cover in the future. But until then, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure having you here. Remember to take care of each other, and as always, take the high ground. Woo!